You are listening to the Old School Movement podcast with Daz, Chris and Steve. You understand?
Okay. Wow. My voice sounds gravelly.
Yeah.
It sounds tired. It's Hey. Hello, welcome to another episode of Old School Movements. Yes, easy. It's cold out there, man. It's cold out there.
Outside.
But we're going to warm things up for you with another episode of 80s nostalgia. My name's Mr. Lucas.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Steve the Soundman Stacks.
Easy, blow them horns. So yeah, today's episode of
Taking
Old
it back.
School Movements podcast. We're taking it back as usual. But you know, Chris, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about duos. We're talking about, in the 80s you had a lot of duos, but we're gonna sort of dip into the pop music duos of the 80s.
Today it's about 80s pop stars, isn't it?
There's so many. We've had to, we split it down into categories. So let's stick to music duos today.
Yeah.
There was a lot of duos in the 80s. So some
There
come
was.
from the 70s into the 80s, but whatever decade they came from, we know of them in the 80s. So we're going to chat about.
It's true. There was a lot of 70s ones, weren't there?
Yeah, I think that's sort of where it started in the 70s. I think with the old pop duos, man.
Mix and match together, man. But our memories start in the 80s, obviously, because pop music was the only music we had.
Yeah.
So we, and there was so much selections. You had groups, solos, and lots of duos. Is there much duos around now? Is there much?
Not that I can think of.
I can't think of many. It's either boy bands, girl groups,
Or just collaborations, isn't it?
you get collabs. I suppose. Not an actual duo, is it really, that I can think of?
Yeah. Well, we're going to go through some duos and collabs on this first duo podcast, and let's just kick it off with the first one. Who's the first one, Chris?
Who's the first one? Let's take it back to probably the most famous duo of the last few decades. These guys are from the 70s. They've been going 50 years now. And that's Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates. Man.
Or to me, Hall of Notes. They're always going to be called Hall of Notes to me. I can't get my head around it. They're called Hall and Oates. I call them Hall of Notes. For years I've called them that. I'm still calling it because I think it sounds better. So we're talking
Serious?
Yeah.
Hall of Notes.
It was only probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago I actually found out it was Oates. And I was like, what? No, hey, it's Notes.
Yeah. Hall and Oates, man. Daryl Hall and John Oates.
John Oates, that's it, Daryl Hall.
Daryl Hall and John Oates.
And like I say, probably they've been around so long, they got to be the biggest duo in pop, ain't they, really, thinking about it, just for the amount of time they've been about.
For the amount of time. And not a lot of people would know that. Not a lot of people would know that. Because as you say, from the 70s, and when I first saw them, I thought they were a new group. Obviously, you're a kid, isn't it?
When I first saw them, I thought they were magicians from Las Vegas.
What?
They remind me, they're not them two dudes. Them two magicians from Las Vegas.
Big mullets, one had a blonde mullet, one had a black mullet.
Handlebar moustaches.
Yeah, some handlebar moustache, Steve Guttenberg looking moustache dude. But no, that Hall of Notes. So it's when I heard they had loads of tracks. Loads of tracks.
It's like you say, people don't know who. Like you'd say Hall and Oates, and they'd be, who's that? Or not
who's that?
Hall and Oates.
Hall and Oates. Yeah.
As soon as you say the song,
Hall and Oates.
Yeah,
but yeah,
they'd be those.
Yeah. Hey, below. But
No, what's he talking about?
When you say names of their songs, it's like okay, and then even when you say the names of the songs, it's still like, I don't know.
It could be a bit hit and miss.
Sing them. Yeah. So people, it's like
when you hear them, you'll be like, oh, those guys. Yeah. I've known that. I thought that was some soft rock band or something.
Yeah. So when you say someone, Hall and Oates, I don't know. When you say Man Eater, whoa, here she comes. The Man Eater. Do you know what I mean? And that's what the first songs I heard from them, and I thought, okay. And when you get when you're little, you get a group with consistency. Okay, there's another tune, there's another tune.
And they sounded different. They sounded a bit different to normal pop. I remember one of my first early ones was I Can't Go For That. And it had that, the vocal in that's got that almost vocodery sort of.
Yeah.
That tune's wicked, man. That tune's
but original or De La Soul version, big tune,
Still
like
big, yeah.
like the
both
groove, you know, the groove. I can't
be
go
that
for
groove.
that.
Can't be
Yeah.
that groove.
Big tune, big tune.
So yeah, they got them big hits, man. But yeah, a lot of people, you know, don't realise who they are until they hear the song and think, yeah, I've seen that, I heard that in a movie or heard the remake or.
Yeah, no, it's true.
You're
And,
out of touch. You're out of time. That's another one.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one. Yeah,
There's some big tunes, you know.
That's
Some
classics.
classics.
They
I
had
could do
some
one of their
tu-
greatest hits. Something about the kids to download one
Mate,
of their
they had
greatest
some
hits.
tunes. 40 million record sales, man.
Wow.
6 number one hits in the Billboard 100, man. So
6
you
number
know,
ones, yeah.
they've been churning out that blue-eyed soul for decades.
And they
For
met at uni
decades.
as well, and they met. Like, I think it was Philadelphia Uni. Met there, formed, I think, another band, but it evolved into just the two of them. And you know,
Yeah.
50 years, man, in the game, still
Yeah.
going. I think.
Yeah, still going, man. I had none of their recent stuff, but
Nah.
you know, for me, they're one of the duos of the 80s that
Yeah.
you'd look out for. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? They had that soul in there.
Sneaked in there, but
They're probably
they're
right in
pop
front
soul.
of you that you don't even know about.
Yeah, that pop soul feel, man. Yeah, love it. That's our first duo, man. With the mullets. Check out their mullets, though. Seriously, they look like, you know what Hall & Oates look like? You know when you walk past barbershops and you see those drawings of a hairstyle.
You got
In an
them
image,
images.
and I swear one of the album covers was that kind of image. You know, one guy's like a bit above the other.
Yeah.
It was like, you know that look?
You're
One's
right,
looking that
man.
way, Lon's looking that way. It's proper barbershop photo group. I think barbershop photos were like based on their look. I want the Hall & Oates.
You know. Hall & Oates, yeah, go on.
Usual.
Usual. Yeah, I'll have the Daryl, please.
John tonight, son? No, down.
I can't go for that.
Can do.
So who else we got? We
Mate.
kicked off with a big duo there.
We kicked off with Hall & Oates, the duo of the 80s, but
Let's
not
chuck
the
in a
only.
collab. Let's chuck in a little
Not yet.
collaboration.
Let's mix it up with a collaboration, man. So this collaboration right here, this is a weird collaboration, but it was inevitable. Like two pop stars, one for the UK, one for the US.
At the height, not height of their careers,
Not height,
both
but
big
one
names.
had dominated the scene
Yeah.
during the 60s into the, went solo in the 70s, and one was coming up with his second album
And his solo career, I suppose.
and his solo career. But this particular tune was on Paul McCartney's Pipes of Peace album in 1981, but released in 1983. And that's say, man.
So it's another one.
That's
that
one-
sneaks.
Sneak tip. That's one of them tunes. Because you knew Michael Jackson, you knew Paul McCartney. But say. I don't know about you guys. I never heard that at disco.
Nah.
Never.
I can't remember how it goes.
I think I saw it once on Top of the Pops,
Yeah.
and
I
then
think
it
it was the
just
video that
stayed.
sold it. It was a big budget video, innit? There was a lot of
Yeah.
actors, a lot of background going on. I don't think it was set in the Wild West. I remember him sitting on a car.
They were like con men. They were like magician con men. They would go
That
to
was it. I
different
know,
towns.
so there was
and
clown makeup at the start.
clown
wasn't there?
makeup. Yeah, that's right.
It was almost like the early start of Michael Jackson's big videos. Sort of,
Video,
It was turned into
short
stories.
movie.
And this was like-
sure.
I remember it was very much like that, and I only saw it and heard of it when they were playing it as a video. Not you didn't, like you say, you didn't really hear it on the
Didn't hear. I didn't really hear
Out
much
when you're
on
out,
the
or
radio.
even much on the radio. No,
Do you know what I mean? Do you not remember how it went, Stags?
Nah, not at all.
it's only now that you won't remember.
Say what you want and don't leave me.
That's like the McCartney.
I'm singing
bit.
Paul McCartney's.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's only later on. I think
Amazing.
in the noughties they remixed the Michael bit into a dance tune, which then
Yeah.
it made people think, what Michael tune was that? So you look into it and it's say,
Right.
which is.
Yeah.
Do you remember how that bit goes?
I don't.
Wait, pick up the phone for you
Yeah.
to call me.
Oh,
Call me.
yeah.
You know that one?
I
It's
know
a
what you're
wicked,
talking
it's a
about.
wicked
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit. I love
yeah.
that
I
little
know
bit
the
as well.
tune.
It works so good
Yeah.
in that dance
Yes.
track.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that bit.
True.
Yeah, it's another one of them ones. The video's worth a watch.
Sneaky.
Yeah. It's worth a watch. Number 2 in the UK, number 1 in the US.
And yeah, Michael
they
was
were-
young when he was.
Yeah.
quite young in them days.
Mac and Jack, they were called in that video. Mac and Jack.
That's some food. I love a Mac and Jack, please.
It's something from McDonald's, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Mac and
Jack with big fries.
But yeah, I remember the video, and only if you were a Michael Jackson fan, you knew that song.
Yeah.
It was that kind of, it's like a B-side or something for Michael. Do you know what I mean?
It sort of goes into the categories. Is it Ben and them sort of
them
sort of quiet songs that
not
the big pop
and not
iconic
the
tunes,
big,
like.
exactly.
But then they also collabed on another tune as well.
That's right. They also collabed on Michael Jackson's Thriller album on The Girl Is Mine.
That was quite a tune. I quite like The Girl Is Mine.
Yeah.
The Dark Girl Is Mine.
I didn't really like that song, you know.
It was a weak tune on that album, but as a standalone tune, you hear it now, and it's all right.
It's a tune. I haven't heard it in years. I haven't heard it, and it was one of the first tunes I heard that had like talking at the end. Hey, Michael. You know, when they're talking together. She's mine, Michael. No, she's not. She's not loving me. I don't believe it. Oh, the girl is mine. She's mine. She's mine. And I remember he went into all that. And I only liked the end because I knew Thriller. The tune Thriller was coming next. I remember that fading out, and then Thriller would come. But yeah, mate. Yeah. It was all right.
Yeah, that tune was all right. And I like to say that the break, Jacko's break in Say was wicked as well. But they sort of fell, they were getting friendly doing these tracks, weren't they? I think Michael was living in London for a bit and hanging out, doing all this. And they had a big falling out. Did you hear about the falling out they had?
Yeah, the whole copyright thing.
Yeah. Like when Michael kept I've seen McCartney interviews where he's like, he kept winding me up that he's going to buy my music and buy my rights, and I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking before he knows it, Michael's bought the whole Beatles rights. Tracks.
But
I didn't know that.
That's the thing. Paul McCartney said to him, "Hey, Michael, you should buy the rights to music." That's what
he pushed him into the idea.
And Michael was like, "Oh, I don't really know. I'm not really into that. I don't really know that."
I'll start with yours.
And then on the sly, he went, "Listen."
Them Beatles, I love that.
Yeah, I love the Beatles. I want all of their music, all mine, and don't tell Paul. And and all of a sudden, Paul's like, "Oh, okay, I'll just go and check on my music." And he found out it wasn't his no more. Michael Jackson just ruthless.
But then he owned half of Sony as well, though, didn't he?
That's rude. That's I don't know.
But
do you know anything on
he
that?
must have been young, innit? You know what I mean? It's hard to think, that's going through his head as a probably mid-20, young 20-year-old.
Proper businessman.
Well, you have to be, though, because otherwise the industry will just chew you up, mate.
Yeah. He must have seen that. He probably did see that because he's been in the business since he's like 5, isn't it? So.
Yeah. But apparently, I heard, because that song, Girl Is Mine, was written by Paul, Michael, and Quincy Jones. Mm-hmm. And apparently, I heard Quincy Jones wanted Michael to write a rap verse to that song as well. Imagine that. Michael Jackson rapping on that.
It would have fit, though. It would have made sense, though. Like, you listen to the track, for that time, a rap would have slotted in nicely.
I don't know.
Go on, you do Michael Jackson.
I don't know.
That's early 80s, so it's not going to be gangster.
No, it's going to be LL.
It's going to be. It's not even going to be LL. It'll be like Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
It'll be as clean as you like, but in Michael Jackson's voice. Go on, D.
No, I would even know.
Michael Jackson rap verse.
I think the closest to rapping Michael done was on Smooth Criminal. Those verses were like how a rapper would deliver. You don't sing like
it's almost double time,
like Daddy Freddie style. Like, I think that was his style of rap.
Daddy Freddie.
But I wouldn't have liked to hear Michael Jackson rap. But collabos were bigger. Paul McCartney,
just stay with that.
Paul McCartney was getting about on the collabo tip.
I think once he sort of gone off solo, there was a few other people that were like, I want to work with this dude, man. He's one of the Beatles. And in that time he was producing, writing still, and so who else did he end up collabing with after Michael? It was around.
Well, not after. You know, this was in between that same time. Like he must say, look, I'm going in this studio now, Mike, to record with Stevie.
Got Stevie next door.
Yeah. Stevie next door is going to play the keys and talk about Ebony and Ivory, and that's what he went into. Ebony and Ivory. Now, that out of those 3 tunes, out of 2 Michael Jackson songs and Stevie Wonder songs, they all got that feel. Don't you feel that when artists collab together, it's never a blowout tune. It's never, it's never a part of them or a part of them. It's just a tune that you think you both wouldn't have that tune as a solo artist.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that on your own. Yeah,
it's
so
just a song.
It's just a song.
It's just a soft song. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, how did you not make a great song when it's you two? Do you know what I mean? But Ebony and Ivory, I get the sentiment, the message, the black keys and the white keys and so on. But it was what did you guys think of it?
It was soft.
Yeah. At the age we were when it came out, it wasn't what he wanted. But I like the fact it was black and white. I like the fact it had Stevie in it, man. Anything in them days after seeing
Stevie in it.
Seeing Stevie, it's like, man, I'm watching this. Like, I don't care who he's singing with. I'm just watching it for Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
So it had that attraction.
For the time, it was perfect, I think. But like you say, looking back on it, it's like you wouldn't listen to that now.
No. That's another song. Have you ever heard that? The party or anywhere?
Nah.
You just don't hear it.
I don't even know where you would play that. I don't know where that would get.
I don't know where.
It was one of the top selling albums in both sides of the pond in '82. It was
number 1 in the UK and the US.
Yeah.
So someone was buying a lot of copies of that.
Yeah.
Of that record. There is good and bad in everyone.
But like you say, the sentiment is bang on.
It is.
No, really, truly, we should be playing that now.
Yeah.
For real.
The sentiment is, it makes sense, but it's just a soft song.
But again, like Paul McCartney, Beatles, Stevie Wonder, like listen to their solo catalogs, like as a group and as a solo artist. Amazing tunes. You think,
bring them together, you'd expect magic.
You'd expect magic. Yeah.
Dynamite. Magic, just like Hall and Oates, the Magicians.
None of that. None of that. What's the James Bond tune he done?
Living. That was a big tune.
You expect that and Thriller mixed.
Something big like that. You would expect. Yeah. You would expect
big budget.
I don't know, but here we go, because that's great that we've said that, because our next duo, a collabo, was 2 artists in groups that brought their strengths to the table and made a super duo collabo. For me, when I heard this tune, it was like the Miami Vice of tunes. Yeah, it was like the Lethal Weapon of tunes. It was like the 48 Hours of tunes. And like, do you know what I mean though? Because their voices complemented each other, man. It's a massive pop tune. And that was like Phil Collins with Phil Bailey.
Philip Bailey.
Easy Lover, man. Like,
1984.
That was a tune. So you got Phil Collins from Genesis, Phil Bailey from Earth, Wind and Fire. 2 big groups in their own right.
2 massive groups on their own,
coming together and smashing it out of the park.
Smashing it, yeah.
Do you know, unlike, for me, Paul McCartney did with Michael Jackson or Stevie Wonder. Do you know what I'm saying?
True. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because Easy Lover was a big tune, mate. And even seeing that video, like, I think that's one of the first videos I saw as a kid of it's like backstage. They were preparing to perform. Yeah. Like back in the day, you just saw the video of them on stage. Yeah. These guys were putting on their makeup and their suits or whatever. She's the kind of girl you dream of. Putting on his tie. Putting on his jacket. Do you know what I mean? And getting ready for to perform the tune on stage. And like, as I said, both amazing voices, and for me, that tune, Easy Lover, I think that's one of the big collabo tunes of the 80s.
Yeah.
I can imagine that's where you learnt your night rocker moves from.
Mate, everyone was doing the night rocker Hasselhoff move, man.
Yeah. I showed Shemaine that the other day. She's like, I've never seen that. So you didn't live in the 80s then.
You got to roll up the sleeves on your blazer.
Yeah.
And sway.
For real.
It was one of them tunes as well that it got made like in the studio that night. They recorded the album, and then they were like, there was another guy there. I think he was a guitarist or something, and they they were like, yeah, we haven't done nothing with you. So that he was like, right, let's just do it now. Let's just make something.
And that's why the video looks like how it looks, isn't it? But they're recording it in the studio.
It in the behind the scenes, isn't it?
It's like fuck it, get the camera out. We'll knock it out. We'll knock out tune and video. All that works.
Do it all in one.
Nah, for real. Nah.
And I don't know why, there was something about it that resonated with people who liked hip hop. You find that a lot of hip hop heads are sort of drawn towards that. It was a funky tune. It had everything you needed for the 80s. It had that pop feel, the hard drums. It had a groove. Remember, you got Earth, Wind and Fire and Genesis. You're bound to get something. As we thought with McCartney and Steve and Jacko. But it worked with these two.
But it worked with these two, mate.
It was written in an article that someone had said, like, where did that come from? It ain't black music. It ain't white music. It's that kind of interesting beige music. Yeah, I kind of like that little quote about it.
Mate, it's just top-notch pop.
So anything with Phil Collins on in the 80s, you're gonna have a bit of a hit anyway. And he done some classics in the 80s himself.
And Earth, Wind and Fire.
Earth, Wind and Fire. Yeah,
you cannot go wrong. Yeah. You cannot go wrong with both of those groups, man.
That's one of my favourite duos of the 80s, definitely.
It has to be.
And they only turned out the one tune, innit?
Yeah, but I think that's kind of good because some duos get a bit excited and make an album and then nothing happens. Yeah. So they done a nice they done a nice move there, just knocked out the park. Here you go, we're off. You know who we are. Come and see us back at our groups. Done. Good night.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest history.
Come and see us back at our groups.
Do you know what I'm saying? And still smashing it. Smashing it after that. So, no. Love that tune. Easy lover.
Wicked tune, man.
Right, this next tune, right? This next duo. I'm just going to start with this, like this. Mate,
which tune is that? I'm trying to think. It's in the head.
Mate, again, classic pop.
It's classic pop.
It's
big proper electro 80s pop, man.
It's just mate, it's big just classic pop, and it's a classic combination.
So many hits, man. Like even back in the days,
Annie Lennox, mate.
They were their sort of group that you didn't tell your mates you listened to, but you couldn't not like some of their music, man.
You could I had no problem.
I had no problem with Sweet Dreams. Like, I'll fight a man if you want to challenge me on that. I would have a playground scrap. Who wanted this Sweet Dreams?
Whenever I think of Eurythmics, I used to have their songs on like the now 80s cassette, the triple or quadruple cassettes you used to get. So they always used to chuck some Eurythmics in there. So I used to listen to them that way. But Sweet Dreams, man. Who's That Girl was another one I used to love, man.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
And would I lie to you? Would I lie to you, honey? That shit mate. I fucking bad.
Mate, classic combo of the 80s, mate. Yeah. Like
classic combo.
Like between them, they just done their job. Dave Stewart done his job. Annie Lennox done her job.
What
combined,
a voice, though, man.
Done.
Wicked.
Do you know what I mean? End of story. Like, and she's brilliant live, a vocalist. Like,
vocally.
She couldn't be on top of the pops blooming miming, man. It was too.
She's that kind of artist. Yeah, mate.
Too good for that, man.
Mate.
But they both formed a band called the Tourists originally, broke up in 1980s, and then somehow the Eurythmics was formed in a town called Wagga Wagga in Australia. I don't know how they both ended up there, but that's where the Eurythmics was formed. And their first album back in 81 wasn't that great. It wasn't until the second album with Sweet Dreams then that tune was like you say, just as soon as you hear that opening bit, that's a wicked tune.
Yeah.
Mate,
and it's stood the test of the time as well.
Yeah. Mate, and it's been remixed. Do you remember, like, I think the Ragga Twins used it for one of their tunes.
It's been used in a lot of drum and bass hit and jungle tunes. They've been sampled a lot, man. Another big tune of theirs I liked, mainly again because of a wicked harmonica solo, was There Must Be an Angel, or Talking to an Angel. How did it go?
My God!
Talking to an angel.
With
that is a massive.
And then it's got the Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder plays harmonica.
That tune, man.
Big tune.
When you hear that harmonica bit, it's hairs on your arm stand up, man.
Mate, Stevie Wonder had to get
You literally giving me goosebumps just saying that.
Exactly that, man. That's what music does, and people like Stevie could, wow.
Yeah, just cherry on top to that tune because
you've already got Annie Lennox and Dave, and now you've got Stevie as well, just to make that tune even better.
Yeah.
Just to make it.
But they're another big
talking
band
to
of
an
the
angel, mate. Yeah,
big band of the 80s, man. Again, wicked.
Big.
Some of their videos are big as well. I remember there was one where she was like a man. She played like a woman and a man. I think that was. I don't know if that was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was Who's That Girl. Wicked group, man. Wicked.
Like whenever you saw her on TV or on stage, she just commanded.
Yeah. And then out of being in a duo, she done a collabo with Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
Well, remember sisters are doing it for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was that an original by them, or was that like a remake?
I think it was,
I think it could have been.
I think it was.
That's like a tune as well.
By them too. That was like that kind of tune. And that, do you remember one of the series, one of the Police Academy 2 or something, where Hooks and
they do a little karaoke thing or something.
Yeah, they do, and they go on like then Annie Lennox and
I'm trying to think what song. Is that the song they sing?
It's just some 80s pop song, you know what I mean? What's the woman's Callahan and Hooks go on stage and start doing some some duo collabo. That is coming to my head. It just reminds me not on the same level vocally as Aretha Franklin, but it just reminds me of that.
Visual imagination reminds you of that. Yeah.
Well, it's funny actually because when you say Eurythmics, I don't know why, but the duo that pops into my head is Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah, it's another big 80s duo.
Pet Shop Boys.
Big 80s duo.
Pet Shop Boys were good, but I wasn't a big fan of them.
Nah.
Because
what was the first one?
West End Girls was the first.
West End Girls was all right.
It was all right, yeah, because it was a bit different. But
it was different, but I didn't like it because hip hop was coming in. This guy sounded like he was trying to rap, but in the Financial Times voice, it was like
like a newsreader. He's trying to rap like a newsreader because there was like a little rap bit in that, wasn't there? Actually,
the whole
the whole thing's a rap.
Rap. And I'm like,
it's like he's talking for it. I'm only thinking of the chorus, but the verses are like
some talk rap thing. And I was like, this ain't working for me, man. This is too.
I don't know. The rhythm though
was that was the chorus. I can remember singing that at primary school.
But
that catchy chorus.
What caught me of the chorus is the end, is the West End Girls.
That was the bit.
What, you didn't like the singing bit? Oh, mate, the singing bit.
Nah, just the West End Girls bit.
Nah,
and I think because we were from West London as well at the time, it's I like the West End bit. West End Girls.
Mate, the whole hook was live. I'll agree with you on the verses. But the hook was live. And the rhythm was big as well.
I wasn't a massive fan of the Pet Shop Boys.
That one scrapes in, but there wasn't much after that. They went a bit strange.
Yeah, no, I agree. After that, I wasn't.
I'm looking at Pet Shop Boys. I'm looking at duos, and then I'm looking at Tears for Fears. And Tears for Fears for me are better than Pet Shop Boys.
Yeah.
And then I'll look at Go West.
Yeah, Go West is another one I was going to mention.
Probably better than Pet Shop. Do you know what I mean? So
they were.
You know what I mean? But anyway.
Yeah.
This next group, right?
Pepsi and Shirley.
This next group, right?
Pepsi and Shirley.
This next group. This is a situation where you've got to put yourself into and think to yourself, if you were offered what these guys were offered,
would you do it?
Would you take the bait? Would you do it? And half of you would. If you had no money,
if you were in that position,
if you had no money and you were living on the streets as rumored, you had no money, things were low, and you were just dancing and whatever, and someone comes up to you and says, you can have cars, house, clothes, I can make you famous, global around the world. All you have to do is mime. All you got to do is mime. Just look pretty and mime.
All you got to do is move your lips.
All you got to do is wear DMs with cycling shorts.
Dance around like running man.
And a massive shoulder padded blazer.
Yeah, I forgot about the blazers. The shoulder padded blazers.
And run on the spot with your knees hitting your chest. You could be in a group, many vanillis. You could be a duo. Yeah.
You could be a superstar.
You could be a superstar. What would you do? What would you do, guys?
You'd give it a go, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd have
give
to.
it a go.
Like, What other options
But
are
I
there?
think you would do. I think what they tried to do. You would say, "Hold on, look, enough's enough now. I want to sing something," and they just were not allowed, were they? I don't think.
Yeah.
And I think they were given a chance. Didn't they get to record an album and it was that bad that they were like, no,
But they
we're
couldn't
going to
sing,
carry
yeah.
on with the backing vocal dude singing, and you
Yeah.
just carry on miming. But they weren't happy with that miming now. They
Weren't
wanted their
happy with
own
that.
singing, didn't they?
Like, I think the way you see it is like if someone's offered you something. First off, you were seen dancing. You
Yeah,
weren't seen singing.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Someone's
they
offered
blatantly know
you-
what they want to use you for. It's
know
not,
what you're
it's not
getting.
your vocal
Playing.
ability. It's the image.
Right.
It's the image. But
So just go with the
But
thing in
you
it,
can
and then
give
do
it a go.
do a slight album on a different name
Yeah,
if you want to
yeah.
Different label.
with all the money that you've made.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But the craziness of it, only in the 80s you could have got away with this. Like,
yeah.
only in the 80s
Totally.
you could have got away with like miming, like, because we had shows like Top of the Pops, whatever,
Yeah,
and
which
you
was
would
known
mime.
for
So,
it. Yeah,
so
it
they
was
thought,
known for it.
okay, the producers thought, fuck it.
But you were miming to
They're
your own
perfect.
track as a
Yeah.
sort of a backup because technology, this is the way I see it, technology weren't great. So if something went down with the live singing, you know, it was like, fuck it, you just mime
exactly.
to start with, nothing's going to go wrong. So it was known in Top of the Pops that people were doing it, but over their own tunes. These guys were singing over two other people's
Other
voices,
people's
weren't they?
tunes,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
girl,
yeah.
you know it's true.
Yeah, mate. But the thing is, with Milli Vanilli, right? like early on again, we'll go back to Hall & Oates. You said they look like magicians. These guys were magicians. They convinced you.
Yeah.
They pull off the biggest
were
magic trick in
yeah.
80s pop duo ever. Like, they look like they sang this song. I'm in love with you, girl. What the It looked like they was rapping, singing the song. They didn't look like
the
they were.
timing was on
The
point.
timing was on point. They span at the right time. They slam chest at the right time.
wouldn't
They've
know.
done the running man at the right time.
Yeah, you
They
wouldn't
put it
know.
in the air at the right. Everything was on point. Yeah.
Right up until July 1989 when they were on the MTV on TV
Yeah.
Awards.
And the record jumped.
The
It's like-
record jumped. The record jumped so bad.
Oh, is that how they got
Yeah,
baited
this
up?
is the first
Mate.
time that anyone knew about it. The record jumped so
Oh,
bad
wicked.
that one of the Milli Vanilli, like his name is Rob, he
Yeah.
didn't even try and hide it. He just
He
ran
ran.
off stage,
He
and,
ran. I saw the
and then it
footage.
carried on
It's-
playing. I think I remember seeing it.
It's
at
the
the time as well.
craziest thing ever. They're performing, and it's the chorus bit. So it's "Girl, you know
No,
it's
girl,
true."
you
Normally,
know, girl, you know.
yeah, and that's how it went. It's when "Girl, you
He
know
could've
it,
blacked it.
girl, you know it."
He could've done the remix.
But the thing is, they started to go "Girl, you know it, girl," and by the fourth, he went, "Oh
He was
fuck
like, fuck
this!"
this. They literally he ran off stage.
and ran off stage, and it's still going "Girl, you know it."
And if you
girl,
look, most the crowd's still going
Hey.
crazy. The crowd ain't even realised.
they
It
think
was
it's a
only-
mega mix.
Yeah, they think it's like a mega mix, man. He's had to go and use the toilet or something.
I need to see that
Mate,
video.
mate.
Definitely worth
it's-
a watch.
It's sad, man. It's sad. It's
I
sad.
reckon someone done it on purpose to bait
Because
them up.
the
That's
thing
what I'm
is,
thinking,
they,
innit?
the thing is, they were up for a Grammy, and that's when the heat got on them. Because
Oh.
once you're getting a prestigious award,
Yeah, for something you
Look,
ain't
they-
done.
they got it.
that's
They had
when
to
you get-
return it.
Yeah, exactly.
They had to
Exactly.
return their Grammy.
Exactly, they had to
Oh,
return it.
that's
So when they
deep.
got nominated, that's when it started to bubble. That
For
yeah, these
best
guys
new
are
artist or
mine.
best
Yeah.
new duo or group it was
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Ah,
They had to give it back.
They
that is
received the
a
Grammys,
story.
but at that point, if you're Milli Vanilli, you should have said, you know what, we don't want it. We didn't sing.
Yeah, yeah. You shouldn't have took it really in it as well.
But you know the record
record
company and
company
everything.
put the
Like,
pressure on
nah,
them.
take that because obviously
Millions of record they sold.
it's
man.
not just them two; it's the people behind
Yeah,
them as well. Isn't it?
Exactly. But I say Milli Vanilli, they
Damn.
sold bucket loads of records. Like
Millions.
Girl, You Know It's True
That's
was
hilarious.
international
Massive.
everywhere. And then
Yeah.
after that, they had a tune called Ring My Number. Ba, 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 baby, won't you
Yeah,
ring my number?
Yeah,
They
I
had
forgot
that.
about that
And they
tune.
had
Jesus,
Girl, I'm
I
Gonna
forgot
Miss
about
You. Girl, I'm Gonna Miss You. So they had their things going on. They had slow chop tunes, up tempo tunes. They
It's
had
true.
variations.
They had the whole
It wasn't
range.
It sounds,
even
it
there.
sounds like you had the
I think
album,
they
mate.
did, you know.
I love 80s pop.
I reckon he had cycling shorts and the
I reckon these. Yeah, innit? We have to dig into his bedroom when we go next time. I
love
bet he's got the album in there
80s pop,
somewhere.
mate. And it's a sad story because like it got to them, you know, they got exposed. And the sad thing is the guy who produced them said yes, they're fakes, whatever, and put all the blame on them. And the blame isn't on them, blame's on him for
Yeah,
trying to be
exactly.
the cunning dude that he was.
Frank,
and I think
Frank
he was like,
Farian.
he was part of Boney M. He's the one that put together Boney M. So he's got a knack
Oh, really?
of putting together groups
Yeah.
and saying, look, sing these songs. You're just
Yeah.
the face of what I do,
Yeah.
type thing.
So one was
But-
French, one was
But
German.
really,
wasn't it?
he went,
They were-
he went all in and made people mime. Boney M didn't mime. They sang their songs, but didn't write their songs. There was a big uproar with Boney M and him because he wouldn't let them start to write their own songs so they can make their own money in that. So the guy threw them out of the bus. What's that saying? He threw them under the bus. Threw them under the bus. and as Chris was saying at the beginning, they wanted to plead their innocence and say, look, we can sing, we can sing. And they tried to. And they tried to. And it was so embarrassing. They tried to sing Go You Know It's True, yeah.
Backing in
and it sounded so bad. I felt so sorry for them when they sang it live. But sadly, one of them committed suicide. Couldn't handle the pressure. Which member was that, Chris?
Rob.
Because there was Rob and Fab.
Rob it was.
Rob,
Pilatus, was it Pilatus? Rob Pilatus.
And
32 years old.
Sadly passed away, man. It's a sad story because all they wanted was to be out there, man. And like, they got thrown under the bus and ended in tragedy, man. So. And
you think that was a proper put together German, French, Euro pop, but it conquered all of the West, where other European bands weren't they weren't touching the UK and the US really, were they? It was hard to break into that market. But them guys, or their manager, that Frank guy, he'd managed to do it and totally ruined them by doing it.
Yeah, but what puzzles me is like after Milli Vanilli came out, whatever happened, I'm sure Black Box, the girl that sang Black Box, wasn't singing, but that managed to just carry on.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's loads of people that still.
Do you know what I mean?
It can still be done, and you still won't even know until it starts skipping at the Grammy Awards.
How can you go and do live concerts though and not get found out that you've got a voice? It's basically a voice impersonator, really, isn't it? You're using. I didn't know that was Black Box. I always thought
Black Box, yeah. Girl that was singing in that, and there's a lot of 90s dance tracks that had that, like that. The singer, the girl on the video wasn't the girl actually singing it. This happened with a lot of.
I think that was actually a big thing, especially with dance.
Yeah,
I think it was with dance. Yeah, the video had to have the image, but the image didn't. The voice was no good.
But I heard the other guy, Fab, later on. He does solo gigs in LA and so on, and he can sing.
He's still keeping it together.
Keeping it together.
That's good, man.
Yeah, so good on him, man. Maybe we can try and get him on Old School Movements.
Might be worth looking into that, isn't it?
That would be cool. That'd be very cool.
Yeah, man, that'd be good, man. But yeah, Milli Vanilli, Go You Know It's True, still a hit. And that's why they're in our duos. But this next duo, there might be outrage when we announce who they are because they ain't pop, man. They ain't pop. But the reason why they're in our pop duo is because I saw them on Top of the Pops, not for the first time, but I didn't see Big Daddy Kane on Top of the Pops. I didn't see.
They managed to do that crossover.
I didn't see KRS-One and Stop the Rock on.
These guys managed to do the crossover, which was impossible back in the early days of hip hop, man.
They managed to get that pop crossover as a duo with Paid in Full. I remember seeing the video and so on. I think they even performed on Top of the Pops,
I think they did.
doing Paid in Full. You guys probably know who we're talking about now. We said Paid in Full. That's Eric B and Rakim.
Eric B was using different beats around that time, man. Paid in Full, when you did hear it on Top of the Pops or whatever, it was something like, you never heard that style before, man, using these different genres of music, mixing it all together. It wasn't just your traditional, boom bap or your traditional
boom bap.
It was different, man. It was like, hey, who are these guys? And then obviously with Rakim's flow over the top, you can't. Man, you can't.
But the great thing about seeing Airbnb Rakim to the Pops, it was like, when you're little, when you saw a pirate video when it came out in cinema, you said, I've seen it.
I've seen
that's
it.
What
it was old news.
It was old news to us. We know that song, but it's good to see them now.
Yeah, it's good to see
them now.
Been listening to
now you lot are getting what we Now you lot are getting the stuff that we've been listening to for ages, and so it was good to see them perform. Even though Paid in Full isn't one of my favourite Airbnb Rakim tracks.
Nah. But you've got to give it props for breaking through into the charts.
Props for breaking through. And they were a duo that bounced up and down. You say they could come in out the top 40 and still be relevant in the hip hop chart. More than relevant. Like Rakim's considered one of the best rappers of all time. Exactly. So with having Paid in Full, and then I know you got Soul for the Leader. And we can go on and on and on.
Whole album, man.
Days and days and days, but they had tunes, and they're one of the, as we said, top duos that managed to get into the top 40. Man.
They've been called the most influential DJ MC duo in contemporary pop music history. up to date. You know what I mean? There's no one still that I can think of in
because the thing is,
the whole of music.
Because, because it's true. Because the thing is, you had hip hop groups, rap groups, we say, that entered the pop charts, but they they landed as pop, like Fresh Prince, Jazzy Jeff, Kid and Play.
Yeah.
They come in, even Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick. It still sounded poppy. Yeah, but Eric B. Rakim came with the hip hop, the same hip hop you hear in a dance, in a club, on the radio, in the charts.
Yeah,
not watered down. No, You Got Soul was the same tune you heard on the radio and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So Eric B. and Rakim.
At the time as well, because you were listening to the Run DMC, the KRS One, the Chuck D's, they were jumping around stage, moving around where Rakim was it just flowed, didn't it? His lyrics and he didn't have the hype to him, to the voice, but it worked so well, man.
He just glided across the stage.
Glided, man.
He just crossed his legs and just went and just sat. Hovered across the stage.
From left to right.
Just smooth, Rakim will say. Just smooth, man. But and still doing his thing, man.
Still going. And people are still trying to.
What I like about Rakim more than anything, I saw an interview with Rakim where I think Dre wanted him on a track.
Yeah, he took him. He signed him to Dre's label. Wanted to do an album.
Oh, it was an album.
Yeah, he done it.
But he said he didn't want to cuss in it.
Yeah, that's right.
And so they dropped the whole thing.
Right.
He's like, no, I don't cuss in my rap.
Right. You don't hear any profanity cussing. That's what hip hop was back
major
in the day.
Major respect to him.
That's
for
what
that.
I love. 80s
major
hip-hop,
respect.
old school hip hop, man. You don't get that cussing. It was about checking the girl, going out with your mates, having fun. It was.
I'm saying.
The good old days.
And that I have so much respect for Rakim for that, for turning stuff down.
Yeah.
To hold on to those principles is massive.
You're right.
Man. Wicked duo, man.
Wicked duo. Eric B. and Rakim, the hip hop guys that broke the top 40 and didn't compromise. I love that. All right, so sticking with rap duos, man. Shout out to Rob Bass and Easy DJ Rock as well. They came into the charts as well. It Takes Two.
They did, man.
Good duo as well.
Still a good tune. You still hear it now. Still gets played.
Yeah, that's still a tune. Hit it. As soon as you hear that, hit it. As soon as you hear the hit
hit it.
It's
almost Running Man.
Yeah.
Like when you hear it, it's like.
Yeah.
You start doing Running Man.
Now. I'm not boasting. I came to get there. Yeah.
I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock a microphone.
Mate,
it's like another Will Smith tune, isn't it? You know every word to that.
Yeah. It's one of them.
You can't help but not sing with it when you hear it.
Tunes that still works in the club and in the pop charts. So shout out to
I wanna rock.
Rob Bass and Easy DJ Rock. But yeah, another hip hop rap group in the 80s. And this tune carried them all the way through the 80s. And it's big. I don't blame them. Take it. Carry on pushing it. Salt and Pepper.
First ladies of rap and hip hop, man. They get called, isn't it? First females on the scene to hit the big charts.
Jermaine's favourite band.
I would call them a trio, though. I always class Spinderella in there as well. I know she didn't originally start with the band. She came a bit later.
You see, you just brought the whole podcast, Dave. Just blowing the whole podcast out of the water now. Because I'm not going to keep this in. Don't worry, guys.
They are a duo. They're definitely Salt and Pepper are a duo.
Because saying that, people are going to say, so why don't you say Run DMC? So why didn't you say First Base? So why didn't you say? You can go on. We've opened a can of worms with that.
But no, they were only really known as Salt and Pepper. That's what I'm saying. They are pushed as a duo, but whenever you see photos of them, it's always the three of them.
Always three
because
of them.
Spinderella don't fit in with Salt and Pepper. She just never gets a mention. That's the way I see it. But yeah, they are a duo. They are definitely a pop duo.
They are duo. Let's just stick to that. But I don't want people telling me what about the Beastie Boys. Or let's just.
That's a proper trio.
Out of hand,
they're proper trio.
All right. So yeah, but
we stick with Cheryl and Sandra.
Salt and Pepper, Cheryl and Sandra. I'd say went through the 80s. Another group that they can play in any party, and you're still, again, you're busting and Running Man again. It's that type of group, that type of tune. and it's one of those tunes that everybody likes. If you don't like Salt and Pepper's Push It, there's something wrong with you. You know, you could like any other type of music.
Yeah.
You know, you could be a rock fan or whatever fan, but you will still like Salt and Pepper's Push It. It's just that tune. Do you know what I mean?
Just that sort of tune.
Yeah, me and this
baby.
shit.
You have no idea.
Baby,
You have no idea how excited Tremaine gets when she hears that.
Mate, it's a
Like that is it. Like she's off.
Don't you?
Yeah, mate.
It's true.
Huh?
Yeah.
No, well, I like the track,
Yeah.
but
Mate.
like you know,
Mate.
when she hears that, that's the end, mate. It's over.
Yeah. But do you know what? Do you know what, Chris? You say Salt and Pepper, Spinderella, but in the video there's a dude. Who's that dude?
Is there a dude?
Yeah.
I can't remember the video.
There was a dude in the
I
video.
don't remember
yeah.
the video to Push It.
They're on stage
When they're on stage.
and there's a
In
dude.
their 8-ball jackets.
Yeah.
Are they 8-ball jackets?
Yeah. Salt and Pepper jackets.
Yeah,
But
it's not
in that
jacket. It was
8-ball.
their own style, wasn't it?
Yeah,
The yellow
yeah.
and red
8-ball
and-
style.
Yeah.
I don't remember the dude. I don't even remember the video.
There was a
to it.
dude with a high top.
Yeah, he just
Maybe it was the
Makes an
compare. It
appearance.
was the compare, and he stayed on stage. The tune was so big, he wanted to be part of it. Check out the video, and you'll see some.
Yeah, I'll have to
dude.
check out the video. I vaguely just remember him on stage, like as if it was a live gig thing, and that's about it.
yeah.
But no. So do
Big tune,
Push
you
It
guys
was
remember-
their first tune then, their first big tune,
I
wasn't it?
think
But was
so.
it was like
But
the
do you remember
debut
anything
tune?
else they done? Do you remember any other?
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
what else they done? They
Let's talk about sex.
let's talk about sex, baby. Yeah.
Let's talk about you.
Didn't they do?
There's more. I'm sure there's another one.
What a man they done, innit? Did they do What a Man?
What a Man, yeah.
But in the 80s, after Push It, what were they coming out with? Do you remember they done a remix of It's Your Thing?
Wow.
Do what you wanna do?
Oh, yeah,
What you
do
wanna
what
do?
you wanna
Yeah,
do. Yeah,
that was
was
after
great.
Push It,
Yeah,
wasn't
that
it?
was good. That was good. It
Yeah.
started
that
getting
was-
worse after that. I think. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Your thing.
I've never heard a Salt and Pepper album.
Nah.
You guys? I don't know the
think
names
so.
of their albums.
Hot, Cool and Vicious was the debut. That would be the one that I'd push it on. And 1 million copies sold worldwide, making them the first female rap group to achieve gold and platinum status in the US. But yeah,
Keep them up for that.
fourth album, Very Necessary, sold over 7 million copies. Not sure what the second and third
Fourth
album. Yeah,
album,
fourth
really?
album. So they've churned
Yeah.
some out.
They have.
They won a Grammy in '95 for best rap performance. That was when they were churning out them songs we were just talking about, the other ones, the sort of '90s stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I should have said about Spinderella. Spinderella got kicked out of Salt and Pepper, so they are a duo now. She got only kicked out recently, 2019. I didn't know that.
Okay. Oh, what happened?
recently?
She got COVID.
No, they found a new DJ basically. After all of them years, they found a new DJ.
What, a female?
Yeah, she's the
What? So they still touring? Because that's the only reason you're gonna need a DJ.
DJ Coca Chanel, formerly of BET Networks and Hot 97, has become the replacement DJ after Spinderella was terminated in May 2019.
Wow.
They're like
Okay.
they're in their 50s now, aren't they? So they're like mid 50s.
They're pushing it,
Probably.
definitely. They're
Literally.
definitely
Quite
literally, they're
Literally.
definitely pushing it,
Yeah,
man.
they're pushing it. Yeah.
Push it real good. No, they still look good actually. I've seen some pictures of them recently.
Boy, my back is really hurting. I'm turning old.
My knees are really creaking. Oh, I'm in this chair. I want you to push it, babe.
Isn't it? Push my wheelchair.
Push it real
Put
good.
my wheelchair.
That's how it's gonna be soon, man. We're all gonna be in that state soon.
Oh, mate. But yeah, okay. So they replaced her with another
We have
DJ.
another one, yeah.
Are they still touring then?
Yeah,
I see. Because like I can't think of a reason
Yeah,
why
they
you
are
need
still,
a DJ.
they are
for
still
touring.
touring. Or they were right up until beginning of this year, but yeah, they were still touring.
Damn.
US.
That's
Okay. But while we were loving Salt and Pepper from the US, and everybody's loving Salt and Pepper all over the world, UK had their own female duo going on with snappy dance routines and matching hats and suits. And Okay, what you guys say.
Respectable. That was a tune. When that come out, they were our Salt and Pepper, weren't they?
Yeah,
You know what it was? It was that vocal start that got you excited. It's like, oh wow, that's fresh.
Mate, that's the word.
Fresh at the
weekend.
Yeah, that was them as well.
Mate,
that's so fresh.
I think that's the first tune I heard from them. Like,
Yeah, it was.
Mate,
It was.
but get fresh at the weekend, respectable, mate.
Like the bomb.
Mel and Kim. Mel and Kim, love that group.
The duo reached number 1 in the UK in the single charts with Respectable. That was back in 1987. It also topped.
So that was their first tune, Respectable.
First tune, yeah. They also topped the US dance chart with it, which for a UK duo back in the 80s, that was a big achievement, wasn't it?
Big move.
If you made it in the US or got in the US charts,
in the 80s,
you know you made
big time. Yeah.
And they carried, like you said, they carried on going for a good few years. Churned out a couple of albums, I think, but unfortunately, Melanie was diagnosed with cancer and passed away in 1990 at 23, man. That's what sort of age is 23 nowadays, isn't it? You think?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Were they sisters? They were sisters, right?
Yeah, they were sisters. Yeah. Applebee's, weren't they? Kim and Mel Appleby. Yeah, they were sisters.
Yeah.
And they were like our Salt and Pepper, man. I remember, they'd pop up on Top of the Pops, the Brits back in the days. You'd see them
Brits. Yeah, you see their dance routines with their hat. I love their style.
That style was wicked. Yeah,
they were type of group.
They were like the Kid and Play as well. The female version, the routines they had.
They were just exactly. That's the word, tight. Their routines were tight, and they just knew how to churn out pop. They knew the formula, and they just smashed it. Yeah. Love them, like proper British sound.
Looking at it now, it's probably one of them. Who used to churn out all them groups like Stock Aitken and Waterman?
Yeah, it's that. It's
that sort of level, isn't it? The Kylie, that sort of thing. But they done so. They made it look good.
Yeah. They put Stock Aitken and Waterman on that map, man. That was the sound. You know what I mean? Yeah. Big up Mel and Kim.
I think Kim did try a little solo career, but I don't. There's nothing of her solo stuff that I can recall. Nothing that can beat Respectable. Anyway, that was.
Get fresh for the weekend.
Get fresh for the weekend.
Come on, man. Tunes, man. Get fresh for the weekend, mate. That's the 80s. Proper.
I think it's like when you hear that, it probably was Stock Aitken.
It was. Yeah.
Rick Ashley style.
There's a particular sound.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was like that sound, that pop formula, man.
Yeah, it worked in the 80s. Why change it?
Yeah, exactly. Now moving on to another British UK duo, also smashed it in the UK, and one member went on and smashed it with an amazing solo career. Mate, that's Wham.
Wham. George Michael, Andrew Ridgeley.
Wham. And he's another dude that tried to rap. Remember their first tune was, I think it's called the Wham Rap. Remember that tune?
Yeah.
I thought, hey,
that was early 80s.
Who's trying to rap?
I think that was 1980.
Early 80s stacks. The guy's rapping. And I think George Michael's first tune, he rapped.
Blondie was doing it at the time as well, wasn't he?
What was the first tune?
She was.
I
think
Blondie
she
was
saw
doing
it off the back of Michael, George Michael doing it. I think.
It's that style of pop rap.
That pop rap.
That simple style. Then you rap the style.
Wham Rap's bad. The first two songs, literally when they put the band together, was Wham Rap and Club Tropicana. They're two of the best tunes that I like of Wham. Two of the best tunes.
That's when I hear Wham, it's those two tracks.
It's one of them. Yeah,
it's not Last Christmas.
Nah.
It's Club Tropicana.
I'm sure they had some other tracks because I don't even remember how Tropicana.
You know what? You need to leave the podcast.
Yeah.
Just mute now. Just mute.
Sunshine.
I can't remember how it went.
Everybody knows.
I can't remember how it went.
You don't even have to like Wham. Because
yeah, well that's the thing. I'm not really a big Wham fan.
The word Club Tropicana, it doesn't exist anywhere else. If you don't know that word, then you're lost in You're lost in the galaxy of 80s pop.
Oh, it feels a warm song when I hear that. It's tropical. It's such a tropical song.
How does it go then? How does it go?
Drinks are free.
Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. Ooh, that's missing was the sea.
Yeah. You know it, man. Stacks. If you don't know that, if you don't know that, you're lost in the galaxy of pop.
You're lost in music.
I'm gonna go and catch up.
Come on,
I'll be
man.
back
Come
with
on,
you in a minute.
man. Come on. Chris, I can't believe Stacks don't know. Club Tropicana drinks are free. I just don't.
I'm catching up.
Put yourself on mute.
Is he listening to it now? Is he listening to
Yeah.
Club Tropicana?
I can't believe that.
But what I remember early 80s, maybe 82, 83, it might have been, or 84 maybe. They went and toured China, which you didn't get Western groups, bands, duos, solos. You didn't get them going to China or, these sort of countries. And I can just remember the crowds that they pulled in arenas touring China. Amazing.
What is that of their first album?
I think it was of their no, it would have been probably a couple of albums in, but it's all of them classic tracks, isn't it? They're going to be singing them classic tracks.
Even though we can only think of two.
Yeah, can we think of two?
I'm trying to think of what they would have done at a concert, but I can only think of, and it's going to repeat Club Tropicana and Wham Rap.
They can't keep singing Last Christmas. In the middle of summer.
I literally can't think of any other Wham songs, but I just know those two.
I'm your man. If you want.
Oh yeah. What am I talking about? Wake me up before you go.
Wake me up before you go. They're coming back.
See, no, that's what I think of when you say Wham.
Wake me
that
up.
song. That's the one.
I didn't like that song.
That's what comes.
That was a bit later on.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, but it weren't my type of tune.
Club Tropicana, I vaguely remember. Vaguely.
Big tune. They had some big tunes, right? And like Mel Kim, and like all the artists and duos and collabos we mentioned in this podcast, they're the 80s. You hear these people and you think 80s. There's more to go through, but we're also going to go through, as we said at the top of this podcast, we're going to go through cartoon duos, comedy duos, movie duos, TV duos. Duos, man.
It's always good to have a sidekick.
It's always good to have a sidekick. You remember those? Where are those things? Like, things you don't see anymore. Where are those motorcycles that have the sidecar?
George and Mildred.
Yeah.
George and Mildred, Batman and Robin.
True,
Yeah.
Well, mate, they used to do sidecar racing.
They used to lean out to hold it down, didn't they?
Yeah.
I love watching that.
I had the Sky Electrics ones.
What happened to that?
Yeah, the sidecars.
Oh, did you? Oh, wicked.
They did that.
Like you say, things you don't see anymore.
But why? Why is Robin sitting in there? I'll be fuming if I was Robin,
Let me have a go.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the car. No, I'm going to take the bike. I want to take the car.
No, I want my own Vix.
Yeah.
I want my own Vix.
The red breast on it.
You know what I mean? The sidecar, man. So yeah, there's going to be more duos coming up on the podcast that takes you back into the retro ride of the 1980s and the 90s, because it's old school, So yeah, thanks for listening. Also, guys, Christmas is coming up.
Might have to put together a little Christmas show, see what we can do.
Yeah, and if you guys haven't, if you guys are new to the Old Skool Movements podcast, have a listen to our retro Christmas podcast, man. Because like the 80s,
like kid in the 80s.
Yeah, like when you was a kid in the 80s, you saw James Bond every year. You saw Digby the dog every year. You saw a Sinbad film every year. And you saw a Carry On film every year. So carry on the tradition and listen to our retro 80s podcast every year.
If you can't do that, go find an Argos catalogue. Go find a pen and go circle some toys that you want.
Circle some toys in your Argos catalogue. Get your Mars pack of marathon and Jesus. Yeah, the stocking pack.
The stocking.
If we were 8 or 9,
the different suits in it. Yeah.
Mando stuff, Mandalorian figures.
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing.
What?
Yeah, that's what we'll be doing right now. Mando figures. PS5.
Standard.
Oh, that'd be out of reach, I think. Oh, be dreaming
That'd be
of
like
the
looking at an
PS5.
Atari, innit? That'd be like looking at the Atari going, I'm not
Must be
getting
80
that.
quid on that Atari.
I know that's not happening.
Never
Not
gonna
if it's
get one of them.
Tony Chronic, I'm going to get. You know,
I know.
but, hey. Thanks for listening as always, guys. It's been a pleasure.
Till next time. Peace.
Peace.